Well, hello everybody.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Hi, my name is Tara,
I'm Natalie.
and we are making a movie. And this is a podcast that is about us making our very first feature film. If you're tuning in for the first time ever, we are filmmakers who are making a feature film called Turns Out It's the Apocalypse. We think it is a buddy comedy, and we are literally 18 days away from camera up, from go. So we are like in the last throes of pre-production. It's getting real up in here. So
That's scary.
I
That's
know,
terrifying. I don't like it.
I know, I know. I hate saying the number to anybody on the team, but I compulsively can't stop saying it now. It's an unfortunate situation. So, all right, before we get rolling, just want to remind all of you viewers out there, all of you listeners, that we do have a mechanism for support. If you would like to support us financially on this adventure, we will take your monies. No monies is too small monies. We have PayPal is a great way to do it. We got a PayPal out there everywhere. If you're watching us live on YouTube, the super chat is out there for you as well. We love the super chat, and we'll read your super chat live at the end of the show. But if also you want to be an investor in this little situation, we got that too. So email us, and if you email us, you get to see like all the real deal stuff, like the script and the deck and all that stuff. There are investors that have joined us via this way. So join us if you would like. Email below. Uh, and you know what? I didn't think of, I didn't. You know what I did not do this week was like prep the breaking news.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, we don't have any breaking news that we can really
I
talk
know.
about.
That's what I was just realizing.
Yeah, we've got there's a lot of things. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of things breaking. This
So
week,
many good things happening.
these last 2 weeks have been insane with like
Mm-hmm.
dominoes, chips falling, whatever the terms we want to use there.
Yeah.
But none of it do I think I'm allowed to talk about.
I know. That's what I was
We
just thinking.
signed
Like
Chris Pratt.
that.
We didn't sign Chris Pratt.
We did
Chris
not
Pratt
sign
is
Chris.
not attached to our film. Uh, Chris Pratt,
But
call
yeah,
me.
there's been like so many really cool and exciting things that we're like everything we're on the brink of being able to talk about. So hopefully next
Hmm.
week we can like start saying, but like contracts are being signed,
Yeah.
and until
And
they're signed,
I will say, out of abundance of caution, we have not gotten the okay to say stuff, which I think we probably could. But
probably.
I don't know,
I
so I'm
Yeah,
not
I
gonna.
would. I just don't know. Same, same. So okay, we'll have more coming up. I mean, the one breaking news I can tell you is that I figured out the rap party cocktail. That's what I
Oh,
got
did
for
you?
you.
Good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. With the Irons whiskey in mine
Yeah.
because I don't have it yet. But
Yeah.
I was working on a cocktail last night while I was doing my night job, and I did a riff on the zombie cocktail, which is a rum drink that was invented here in Hollywood. But I did Cannibal Zombie,
Uh huh.
and I think you're gonna like it. It's really fun.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got Fleur in a minute, so that's the only thing I got to source. But like,
Mm-hmm.
it's fun. I fed it to a bunch of people, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is so good! Take it away from me before I drink the whole thing." I was like, "All
Mm-hmm.
right, that'll do. That'll work." So I'm very proud of my title, the Cannibal Zombie. It's an
So wait, do we
ongoing
not have
joke
a
in our
bunker
script.
buddy one?
No, I didn't come up with bunker. I could come up with a
Okay.
bunker one too.
No,
Yeah,
I
like
think
a
we need a bunker buddy. I think that's the. I
okay.
mean, both of those. I think the bunker buddy is a good
Okay, yeah, yeah. I think a bunker buddy
promotional
is going to
one.
be like a much simpler cocktail. So I'll have
Hmm.
to work on that too. Anyways, that's my breaking news. Very exciting, guys. Okay, so today we are still in that pre-production phase of life. We are working on like the organizational aspects of all this stuff. There's just like
Oh,
there's so much
jeez.
to do when it
Yeah.
comes to prepping for a movie. There's so much that you gotta like even like the prep, like even to just get the movie in a place where you can share it with other people, like there's so much work you have to do that's
Mm-hmm.
hard. Like there's like writing the log line, writing the synopsis, writing the and like gratefully I have you, Natalie. Like you and I sat down and worked on we
That's
work
not my
on
department. What are you talking about? Terry, your logline generator. That's
you're
not me.
but you and I sit there and tinker on them together, like the
Yes.
synopsis and all that. Like you and I've just got down with like a pack of log lines and a pack of
Mm-hmm.
synopsises and a whole entire treatment, and like we have each other. And like
Synopses. I
synopsis
don't
is the
actually have
plural
any
is a
idea.
pack of is a plural of synopsises. So we're very lucky that we have each other. But that's not always the case. Like sometimes you're trying to trudge through that nonsense on your own so that you can get somebody involved
Mm-hmm.
in the process. And I think that that kind of brings us to our topic today. We're doing another interview today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got Alex D. Lugo. I'm just
Do
going to
you
call him
go?
Alex from here on out. And we've got Alex on the podcast today. And he has a pre production tool that's called uh, Film Pro. I keep wanting to throw the AI in there, but
I know, me
it
too.
uses AI to help you with those with all through pre-production. But the part that I found most interesting while trickling through it is if you are a one-man band, um, it is your personal assistant, and
I love it.
it it comes up with the things that, like, even just giving you a bouncing board. So we'll talk about this when Alex gets in the room, but we did plug in our script and we got some really fun things that were thrown back at
Yeah.
us generator
Yeah.
wise.
It was really great.
And while we're past that, I mean,
Hmm.
not that we couldn't use any of it now, but while we're past that stage, it would be great. We're still, just like we told Thomas last week, and we intend to use. We have two more projects this year that we want to
Hmm.
do, smaller ones
Yeah.
that I want to use these, like, for both of them. Like I want to use
Yeah.
Thomas's for one of them, and then this one I think would be great for the other one. And so
Yeah.
it's like,
I agree.
okay, like let's explore that and play with them. And then how do we know Alex? We don't. We don't know Alex. Actually, we just chatted with him for about 30 minutes, and
Yeah.
that's the most. That's more.
That's the most that we
That's
really know him.
well, I met
Okay.
Alex at Breck Film Festival, Breckenridge in Colorado. He was there with an award-winning film, Project Penelope. I get it backwards every time. I think it's Project. Whatever my first instinct is wrong, always. Project Penelope. Oh, I got it. I finally got it. Guys, he was there, and Breck does something really interesting. They do their awards ceremony on day one before you've seen a single film, and Alex had already won, so he was like the belle of the ball
Oh
already.
yeah.
um, and uh, and then Alex was also doing a panel or a talk at one point in time about using AI in the film industry, which is
Hmm.
such a sexy topic.
Such a hot topic too. Yeah.
Everybody wants to talk about that. Anyway,
Hmm.
so I talked to Alex once or twice, once fairly drunk at a bar at an after party. So, like, there's do I know him? No. Was that a meaningful conversation? I think in that conversation, though, I said, "Can I have your card? Because I would love to have you on the podcast." Um, I don't even think I sold the. Might not have mentioned there was a podcast before that moment because I was a couple whiskeys deep at that point. Actually, I was probably drinking Chardonnay, which is almost worse sometimes, guys. That's a worse drunk. Um, Anyway, so now we have Alex on, and we're going to let Alex introduce himself and who he really
Yeah.
is, because that's not a very good introduction.
All right, guys. Welcome Alex to the show.
Hold on, I got to get to
Hey,
the mute
Alex.
button, but my mouse was not in
Nope,
the right place.
well,
There we
your
Oh,
go.
mouse. There we go. Hey,
hel-
welcome.
hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Hi.
That
I
was a hell of an
actually
introduction.
I actually love that we're starting to get more and more interviews with people that we
So
don't
no.
know because I feel like we're casting that net of information wider and wider and wider, which is pretty darn cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So Alex, since we don't know you, properly introduce yourselves to us and our friends.
Sure, absolutely. So yeah, my name is Alex D. Lugo. You got it right. The D stands for Daniel. So yeah, on one side of my life, I'm an actor and a filmmaker. Um, Everything kind of started since I was a kid. Both my parents are actors.
Hmm.
So I grew up in a family of actors. My father, Daniel Lugo, he's actually a pretty famous actor in Latin America. He's 80 years old now, so he's pretty old. But my dad, from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, my dad did a lot of TV and film all over Venezuela, Colombia, Peru, Puerto Rico. He met my mom in Venezuela. They did a show together, so they met on set. Um,
Aw.
yeah, so my whole life I've been watching my dad on TV and on
Oh,
stage and in
fun.
film. And he's been a SAG actor since the 80s. So I grew up watching movies with my dad. Like every year he would vote for the SAG Awards. So he would get the movies in the mail. I would watch them with him. He would have me even since I was like 6, 7 years old. He'd be like, "Hey, like so, like which one did you like best? What did you think about this?" And I would vote with my dad. And
Oh,
so
wow.
that's how I grew up like loving films. And so
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, got into middle school, high school, did a lot more, acting in there, got into like, theater and stuff. And um, then I ended up graduating and I was like, well, what am I going to do now? I love acting and film, but I also was really into math and sciences growing up. So, and my dad was always very supportive of me being an actor and a filmmaker, but he was always like, hey, study something else, have something else, not as a backup plan, but as part of the plan. That's how, and that like really
Oh, I
resonated with
like
me.
that. Yeah.
Like you can have an acting career, you can have a film career, and in fact, anything else that you know as an actor or a filmmaker makes you more prepared as an actor or filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Because
great.
yeah, as actors, we portray people of all walks of life, right? All religious backgrounds, all economic backgrounds, all historical backgrounds. So literally, the more you know, the more prepared you are. And so my dad really, pushed me to study something else. So I studied math and computer science. Um, Around that time, I was doing a lot of student short films as an actor, and I started my own production company called Vitruvian Films. Started making my own movies. Um, Ended up moving to New York, did some theater out there in the city, and I ended up working on Wall Street at Goldman Sachs as a software engineer once I
Oh,
graduated.
wow.
What?
Yeah. So in the day I was at Goldman. At night I was taking acting classes at Stella Adler and doing theater in the city. It was a crazy time. It was right. It was before
Oh, that's
COVID.
a charmed New York experience. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, one of like the most cherished moments of my life. It was insane in the moment, but also like so exciting. And like I was just out of college, like early 20s. Just who needs sleep when you're in your early
Oh
20s?
my
So
gosh, right? Who needs sleep now when you're in your 40s either? But
yeah. Yeah, and then anyway, COVID happened. Moved back to. I'm originally from Miami. Grew up there, so I moved back to Miami.
Mm.
And I really started focusing more. I started working from home. Switched from Goldman to Square, the payment processing company.
yeah.
Worked there as a software engineer for another 4 years, and really started focusing more on my own films and producing my own films. In 2023, we decided to make Project Penelope, which I'm sure we'll talk a little more about in a little bit. And that's probably one of my favorite experiences on a film set. Um, and then basically towards the end of last year, or middle of last year, um, I decided to take a leap and quit my job and start my own company. It was my first attempt at really bringing both my worlds together. So that's what FilmPro is. It was basically me bringing together my world as a software engineer, working in artificial intelligence, working in building
Wow.
software for filmmakers, well for people, and then decided to bring that with my experience as a filmmaker to make something for. At first, it was just for myself, and then it ended up becoming something that I wanted to share with my friends and all other filmmakers that I knew, and then it started growing from there. And yeah, so we'll get more into that later. But that's kind of like the whole story and background on how we got
Wow.
here.
Yeah. So, something I'm like loving, I'm realizing lately is like people who've been in like the business side of life, the nitty gritty corporate world or whatever. Like I see this with our executive producer Allison. Like she's worked in those corporate jobs and she's bringing all of these amazing skills to the filmmaking process. And I just think that what you said earlier, like, is not a backup plan, but as part of the plan. Like having these jobs that give us these skills, you don't have to just there's more options. You don't have to just go be a waiter and hope for the acting thing to work
Mm-hmm.
out. You can have an additional parallel career going on, and that career is going to give you so many skills that you might utilize in really amazing ways to make your other artistic career more easy to do. I wish I got into business school.
Well, and I
Yeah.
want to say, like, I think there's a lot of people who are of that world and want to cross. They always like see this and they're like, "Do I want? You know, can I
Yeah.
do that?" And they may not be the most creative person, but do you
Hmm.
understand that none of us possess that quality that you
Yeah.
have? Like, so if you are in that tech world or that engineering world and all of that, but and it really appeals to you to cross over and you want to, and there's just something holding you back, I think your skill set is lacking in the filmmaker world.
Oh my gosh.
So many of us are creative types and don't have the spreadsheet abilities. And that doesn't mean you're going to be stuck doing the spreadsheets, but the fact that you can also do that, like
Yeah.
that is
Mhm.
such a
Oh
leg
my
up
gosh.
on. Don't let that hold you back. The fact that you are making
Yeah.
that, don't think that you can't make that crossover. I think it's a
Yeah.
valuable crossover.
Come play
I
with us. We need you.
Yes.
Yeah, I always think that, the most interesting things happen at the intersection of disciplines. And so
Hmm.
Yes.
I think that there is something you can learn from any discipline that you can bring into another, and it'll make you stand out or different or bring a different perspective to
Hmm.
things. So like as I'm constantly thinking, what can I bring to my filmmaking from my engineering experience that will help me, and that's been like developing systems to make pre-production easier and for post-production and communication skills. How can we get everyone on the same page, and
Right.
how and building out those systems and just problem solving mindset that I've gotten as an engineer, bringing that into my filmmaking, and then vice versa. What can I bring as an actor, as a storyteller, as a filmmaker into my career as a software engineer? Because of that, I've been able to present at different, forums and conferences, and that's a quality
Oh,
that a lot
yeah.
of engineers kind of don't develop, because you're
Mm.
in school, you learn about numbers, you learn about coding, you learn about problem solving, but you don't learn how to communicate very clearly in most of your classes as an engineer. And so being conscious of, hey, what can I draw from here and bring over here, and what can I draw from here and bring over there, I think is something that everyone can do, honestly, because
Yeah.
Absolutely.
everyone has different experiences in their lives that they can draw from and use, and that make you unique, and so I think you got to
Yeah.
lean into that, identify that, and then consciously see how you can bring it into, strengthen your abilities in the other camp, whatever it is you're trying to do.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, so you took all of that experience, all that amazing like knowledge, and you put it into this Film Pro. Tell me about Film Pro. Like, give me the good pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so FilmPro is what we're calling a production management platform, or in other words, what like an operating system for filmmakers. And the whole idea is it's all about pre-production. FilmPro does not help you write your script, and it does not actually shoot anything or help you make the movie. The whole idea is the planning portion, which I think is one of the most overlooked parts of filmmaking,
Yeah.
Agreed.
pre-production.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of first time filmmakers don't think about that a lot of
Hmm.
pre-production. Oh, they think, oh yeah, some spreadsheets, or yeah, we'll plan a little bit. We'll have a few meetings, discuss it, but we'll be fine. We'll wing it on set, and
Oh gosh.
that's gonna be chaos. Yeah,
No.
No, bad
yeah.
idea, bad idea, bad idea.
So the whole idea of Film Pro came about because of my experience making Project Penelope. So in we came up with the idea for Project Penelope in 2022. Honestly, it was like 2 weeks before ChatGPT came out. I'll give you some context on what Project Penelope is
Yeah,
about. So
please do.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So Project Penelope is a short film that I co-directed with my best friend, produced and star in. And it's a story about two scientists, a married couple who suffer a great tragedy. Their 6-year-old daughter passes away in a car accident. And the short film, is about them trying to bring her back to life using artificial intelligence. Um, Obviously, very inspired by Black Mirror, Ex Machina, Love, Death and Robots, Her, so many inspirations. AI by Steven Spielberg. Um, but we came up with this idea just before ChatGPT came out, and then ChatGPT came out, and we were like, oh well, I think this is the time to make this movie. We have to make this movie
Mm.
right now. And um, as a software engineer, I had been using a lot of these AI tools to make myself more productive in my day to day work as an engineer. And I had noticed how like I was able to like the work I was doing at my day job became like 5 times easier. I was getting way more done, spending less time on it. And at the time, working full time job, trying to make a movie at the same time, as I'm sure you guys know, is not an easy thing to do.
Mm.
And so what we started exploring was how can we use uh, these tools that are emerging, like ChatGPT and some of the image models, to help us in our pre-production. We wrote our own script. We didn't use AI for that. We were shooting our movie. I'm acting in it. I mean, so we didn't want to use AI
You're
for that.
not
But
AI?
I
You
am not
told me.
AI.
Okay.
No.
This is when we find out he's AI.
Unconfirmed.
We'll watch the movie and maybe yeah, it might be unconfirmed. We'll see. But we wanted to explore that. We were kind of like just like pioneering at the time. Like, what can we do with this? We didn't know, and so um, we started playing with ChatGPT. Can we make a log line? With ChatGPT, can we make breakdowns? Can it help us with a budget? Anything that it could help us with. And then for like on the visual side, can we translate the ideas we have in our head for like our storyboards into like shots using some of these image models? Can we do that?
Mhm.
And we tried all of that with varying degrees of success. But through that process, that's where the idea started emerging of like, okay, well, why don't we build these general purpose tools? Are great and all, and it takes a lot of trial and error to get good results, honestly. But
Mhm.
what if we made this simpler? What if we made a platform for filmmakers that was tailor made for that? And so that's where the idea emerged, and it really came down to three things that we wanted to Film Pro to become and do. Um, Number one is a platform, and basically a sandbox where filmmakers can explore creative
Oh,
ideas.
yeah.
You can explore your storyboard ideas, your concept art, things like posters, your log line, and have this sandbox where you can play way before you bring anyone onto your team, way
Mhm.
before you get into the
Mm-hmm.
logistics, when you're still in that ideation vision, building your vision. I always say, as a filmmaker, as a director, and we'll dive deeper into this, I think that it is imperative that a filmmaker get a PhD in their vision. Not a bachelor's, not a master's, but a PhD in your vision, right? You need to know the movie you're making. What's your color palette?
Yeah.
What are the shots that you're trying to get? And if you can refine that before you get on set, then your job becomes to become a professor of that vision to a team of incredible artists in their own departments, right? And everyone brings something to the table, but the director's job is to bring the vision to the table and to profess that to a team of people and communicate that clearly, right? So that everyone's on the same page of this is the movie that we're making. And so that's kind of the ethos, or like the thinking behind Film Pro. Can we create a platform where you can explore those creative ideas, refine that vision? Step one. Step two, now you have a vision. Out of that vision will come the logistics. Out of that vision will come, what
Mm.
props do you need? What wardrobe do you need? What
Mhm.
shots are you going to share your shot list? Therefore, what equipment do you need? Out of the vision comes the logistics, the schedule. Okay, well, because we know we want this look for these scenes, we need to shoot it at this time and we need this location. And all of that is a direct consequence of the vision. So you start with a vision inside of Film Pro. Then once you refine that, then you build the logistics, your schedules, your budgets, your call sheets. And once you have all of that, the third layer of Film Pro is the creative hub. So it's where you can bring everyone, the collaborative hub, where you can bring your entire team
Mm.
onto this platform so that everyone can see, hey, this is the movie that we're making. And now everyone's on the same page. There's no questions of, hey, what day are we filming this? Or what prop do we need on day 6? Or, what's the wardrobe for this? What did we say that was the wardrobe that we're going to wear for this? Everyone's on the same page and they have one point of reference for
Mhm.
both the creative and the logistics. And that's like the grander vision of what we're trying to do with Film Pro.
Oh my god, it sounds
I
amazing.
so I, I'm going off. I'm not even on our
Nope,
schedules
she's
here. I
off.
have
She's
no
rogue.
idea. I'm
She's
off
rogue.
script. I've gone rogue because I am in Film Pro right now,
Okay.
and so just to hell with whatever I said we were going to talk about. Uh, you you
Wait.
plan, and then Natalie laughs.
No.
So we uploaded this script, and there's so many fun little gems that like popped up immediately. Like
It's
so, it
great.
generates a poster, which is fun. Like this
Mhm.
now, it's so fun because it's also AI, and so there's some funny things in here of like a baby stroller is mentioned once. We will post this. A baby
We
stroller
will
is
post
mentioned
this.
once,
This is
but
good.
the street is lined with baby strollers in this in this AI because
I
AI
love
does
it.
AI things. But anyway,
Yeah.
it
AI
says
doing
it's
AI.
got the
Yeah.
writer setting, but then tagline: surviving the end of the world is easier with your best friend. Probably. Like, okay. Logline: when two best friends find themselves trapped in a suburban bunker after a mysterious event wipes out the population, they must navigate survival, friendship, and the uncertainty of the end of the world, if it even happens at all. And I am just like, and then it's got a synopsis. Then you can generate script coverage. Okay, but this is what the new thing I just found, which is why we're going off the freaking rails. Characters. I hadn't opened up this page. It's got a
Mm.
breakdown of the characters and it's got pictures of like what they think they look like.
Oh,
Now,
oh, I
basically, they
see
both look like
that.
the same person, but one looks happy and one looks sad, which is kind of interesting. But Amanda is Karen's best friend, pragmatic and often sarcastic, with a more grounded and skeptical view of their apocalypse situation. She's intelligent, resourceful, and struggles with the emotional toll of their isolation. Amanda is determined, sometimes frustrated, but deeply loyal and caring beneath her tough exterior. Now, the crazy thing about it, this is we've done this work and spent hours coming
Hours
up with that
doing
exact
this.
same sentence.
Yeah.
Like this, and I see what you're
Yeah.
saying. Like, you plug it in and you get like, I love it as a bounce board. I love it as
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, but that's not quite what, like, I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
read through like something that it generated. And I was like, well, that's not quite the point, but it's enough that I can go and I can use that as
Yeah.
And,
a,
and the
a
idea
bouncing
is
board.
inside of FilmPro, you refine that, right? So,
Mhm.
Right.
like the poster
Yeah.
you get, that's not your poster. That's
No,
FilmPro's idea
That's
for a
just getting
poster.
it
yeah,
It's just
going. Yeah.
this is get it going. There's a
yeah.
problem we talk a lot about it in engineering world, but I think also in the creative world, called the blank slate problem.
Mhm.
When
Yes.
you start
Yes.
with just a blank
Yes.
page and you have to get from 0 to 1, how do you get
Uh-huh.
there? And so the idea is that FilmPro, it'll give you an initial, poster, initial, images of your characters. You're gonna look at that and be like, yeah, that's not it. But
Yeah.
now you can iterate and you can tell it. Well, so everything inside of FilmPro, if you hover over the poster, you'll see there's a regenerate button.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with the character images. You hover over those,
Mm-hmm.
there's a regenerate button.
Yeah.
And if you click on that, now you can give it feedback and say, hey, that's not actually the look. You know what? This character is actually really happy. So make him
Oh,
happy. Or, hey,
Yeah.
yeah.
the poster, I have this idea for the poster. And so now I make something else. And you'll be like, you know what? That's pretty close, but
But you get to
change
tinker.
this,
Yeah.
Right.
change that, change this. And eventually you get something that you really like. And so that's where the creative sandbox idea comes from.
I
Yeah, I
love
mean,
that.
this is such. I mean, so as a writer, you have this idea of what these characters are, and putting that on the page is sometimes like to write that out for someone. You're like, it's sometimes hard, but this is taking every single word from the script and then going,
Mhm.
well, this is who this person is, and I love this because that means we wrote it. Like
Right.
I'm looking at this and going, we came up with this exact same character description, and and that means we put it in the script. Like I don't know,
Yeah, we did it. Yeah. We got it right.
it's yes, it's and yeah, like I said, we spent so much time coming up with these
Mhm.
character descriptions that I would have gone. I mean, literally, I think I would take this and go, yeah, that's it. No, that's. I
Yeah.
mean, I wouldn't have given it any more thought than going, nope, that's perfect. That's what I.
Yeah.
That's who Karen is. That's who Amanda is.
Well,
This
and
is
we
insane.
Yeah, and we definitely have suffered from that blank canvas thing together. And like often
Mm-hmm.
our solution is Tara will just spit up a bunch of words onto a page and just go
Mm-hmm.
blah, 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 blah. And then
Mm-hmm.
Natalie will go back and go, let's kind of do it. And then I will go back, let's do a little more of this. And then we'll
Mm-hmm.
talk it through. And that takes hours. But the hardest part is sitting down with the blank canvas and spitting out a bunch of junk because
Mm-hmm.
I just have to sit here and like churn out words that aren't it. I know it, but like it's a little emotionally vulnerable to be like, here's my ideas, tear them apart. One
And
of
I
the
will.
Oh yeah, and one of the side jobs I had at one point, I was making decks for a director, and he'd be like, "Hey, I need a deck for this," and I knew every bit of work I was gonna do was gonna get thrown away. I knew my job actually was just to solve his blank canvas problem. That's all I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Was like, "Here's my idea," and he goes, "Yeah, nope, 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 nope," and like I knew that's what the job was. It was like no matter how good I thought this deck was, I knew the job was just to solve the blank canvas for him so that he could then get in there and make the real deck. Like that's such a valuable thing.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
easier to start with something that might not be right and chisel
Oh,
away at it
100%.
until it
Mm-hmm.
is right than to start from nothing.
Yeah.
Well,
That's just, yeah.
and I also think that a lot of writers are not these kind of people. They're not the generate all that other stuff. They wrote a script, and they don't want to do all that other part, but they want their stuff to be made. And honestly, just going in here and doing this as your first thing, go here's just something visual for you other thinkers, and it already has the character breakdowns, and it already has, and they're close. Even if you don't care beyond that fact, like they're close enough to get someone, a director or
Mhm.
someone else, a producer, interested in doing your script. Because I know plenty of writers who have no desire to act and have no desire to produce or direct. They just want to write and they want to see their stuff made. This, I think, could actually help you get to that next step of like, here's a visual, and I didn't have to
Mhm.
do hours and hours of work.
Mhm.
That's the goal.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
the
I
dream.
Yeah.
hate
And a lot of
work.
that work, and a lot of that work isn't even the fun part. It's not the creative part,
No.
right? It's not the
Mm-mm.
part that you got into this to do. You didn't get into making movies to write character breakdowns, like
Mm-mm.
or to
Right.
write a synopsis, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is just stuff that you have to do because you need to do casting, and so you need to do character breakdowns because your
Mm-hmm.
wardrobe person needs to know what this character is like so they can be informed, and
Mm-hmm.
so these are those additional resources that typically take up time during
Mhm.
pre-production. Part of all those weeks that you spend in pre-production is putting all this stuff together, getting everyone on the same page. And so that's what we're focusing on.
Yeah.
My dream of film pro is to give filmmakers, especially independent filmmakers, superpowers, right? So that
Yes.
you can spend more time
Yeah.
focusing on the creative side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing, I kind of bringing it back to what we were talking about last week, with a different program that's more about collaboration. But like, you can use other things. You could use chat to create these loglines. You could use the chat to create the synopsis and stuff. But you really are. It's just like trying to use Google spreadsheets to do your strip boards. You're shoehorning our thought process, our method, our ways into a program that's not actually made to do that. And I noticed with Film Pro that like you're taking what's great about ChatGPT, but then making it fit to what we actually need. And that's why the logline and the synopsis and the character breakdown spit back at us really really close to what we already had because it's actually designed for filmmakers.
Yeah.
So instead of using a program that's not meant for us, but like trying to make it happen, you've
Mm-hmm.
made something taking everything that's good, but like shoehorning it to us instead of reverse. And I think that's just freaking awesome because I've used chat for these kinds of things and it's not very good.
Mhm.
It's like that's not close, but we'll start there.
Yeah, yeah, no, you're 100% right. That was the goal. That was basically to create a platform that's tailor made for that purpose. And after our experience using those general purpose tools that weren't made for that, so
Yeah.
and the biggest thing when working with AI on any type of project, creative or not, is context management. All right, it's like working. The biggest thing about working with AI, that's the most frustrating part, is that every time you start a new conversation with ChatGPT, it's like you're speaking to a brand new employee that has no context on your company, on what you're doing, and what your mission
Mm.
is, and what your goal is. And you have to every single time give it that context again. Hey, here's a script. Hey, here's the story. Hey, here's my company. Hey, here's everything I've told you before. Now let's begin doing the thing that we wanted to do.
Wow.
With Film Pro, the idea is let's let's create that workspace that already has the context of who your characters are, where you're filming, your locations, your
Mm-hmm.
script breakdown, all within the context. So
Mhm.
now all of those messages and communications and the tasks you need to do are informed by the context of your vision, of your product that you've been
Wow.
refining as you go along. So just for high level, how does FilmPro work? You just upload a script, you create a project, and off the bat, it generates for you that poster, that tagline, that log line, that synopsis. It creates character breakdowns, location breakdowns, a script breakdown. And that's just the beginning. From there, you can create your storyboards and shot list. You can create a shooting schedule, and you can even actually let FilmPro create the first version of the shooting schedule, and then you refine it. Again, getting past the blank slate
Oh.
problem.
Yeah.
And then one of
Oh
my favorite
wow.
features, if you guys are on the platform, on the top right-hand corner, there's a little purple button.
Mm-hmm.
And if you click that purple button, it opens up what we call the co-producer. And that's basically, it's just a chat like ChatGPT,
Ah.
but it has the context of your characters, of your locations, of your storyboards, of your schedule. So now you can ask it questions like, hey, what day are we shooting scene 7? Or hey, who do I need on set for scene 4? Or things like, because so it
Ooh.
has the
That is
context and you don't have to feed it anything else anymore.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
The you saying the word, what was it? Context, clarity, context. It
Context
was
management.
context man. That blew my mind. Because you're right. I spend a lot of time with context management. I've learned how to talk to ChatGPT to get it to spit out what I want, but I burn a lot of time going, okay, I need you to reference this other thread in here. Oh
Mm.
my goodness, you're right.
That's
That's
the name of the game.
incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Okay.
so cool.
It's so cool. I do want to take a hard left and I want to talk about filmmaking a little more because you are a filmmaker. Obviously, we've
Mhm.
touched on this. Um, so you've had Project Penelope, and that was the inspiration that got you to making this, right?
The our pre-production experience making Project Penelope
What
was the inspiration for making
what
Filmmaking.
key things like really said like, man, you know what I need? I need it. Da, 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 da. And that's like what you put into this program from Project Penelope.
Yeah, so I think one of the things was I'm a planner. I mean, again, I'm an engineer. When you're an engineer,
Mm.
you put
Yeah.
together what are called typically. So it actually stems actually as I think about it from the process of software development. When you're developing software, you there's a very kind of like it's called the software development lifecycle. And I'm not gonna get too technical on this, but basically you have usually a product manager that approaches you with a product requirements document, a PRD. This is like, let's say, the script. Hey, I have a
Okay.
script here. This is the product we're trying to build, the software we're trying to build. This is the movie we're trying to make,
Okay.
right? And then your job as an engineer, the first thing you do is you put together your plan, which is usually called an engineering design document. And this document ends up being like 30 pages, and it has every detail about what technology you're going to use, how are you going to build that, how are you going to build this feature, that feature, this feature. And so you put together the plan, and then now you know exactly how you're going to execute. So I've taken that methodology of software development and tried to apply it to filmmaking, where I am really a planner. So I put together, I have a Google Drive with so many documents of Project Penelope, putting together break all the breakdowns, all the
Yeah.
schedules, the
Yep.
call
Yeah.
sheets ahead of time.
Yes.
And then when it comes to the shots, so this is where we get into kind of how we were using these general purpose AI tools. For every shot, I try to kind of really envision what is this scene going to look like, and I would jump on calls with my best friend, co-director. His name is Felipe Castilla, and we would talk about it. We would have 2 3 hour long conversations at a time to sit down and go scene by scene and be like, all right, let's break the scene down. What are you envisioning? Let's talk about it. You know what? Yeah, I like that. You know what? No, how about this? And me and him are best friends for like forever. So we have a shared language of films we've seen together and books we've read and
Okay.
plays. I'm sure, like you guys do. I'm sure you guys
Mm-hmm.
can just say a word and a whole memory comes back to both of you. So similar like that. And so, but now you need to communicate that to a team. And so what we did was we tried originally back in the day. What we've done is we use Shot Deck. You guys familiar with Shot Deck?
Yeah. Shot deck.
Cool. Well, for anyone listening doesn't know what Shot Deck
I
is,
don't know what that
Mhm.
is.
okay, so there is a very famous director of photography, cinematographer, Lawrence something, Larry something. He is actually the DP for the Joker,
Okay.
and he created a software platform called ShotDeck. And
I didn't
ShotDeck
know
is
it was
basically,
him. Oh,
yeah,
okay. Got it.
yeah, he's the
Sorry.
founder of it, yeah.
Mhm.
And that platform is basically just a database with high quality, like still images from
Oh,
basically,
yes, I've heard of this. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
from basically
Yeah.
every movie you've ever seen, every show
Yeah.
you've ever seen in your entire life. And so
Hmm.
it's a really great resource for filmmakers to find reference images. You go
Hmm.
through this, you know what, actually, you know that shot in, Shutter Island when this is happening? That's exactly kind of what I
Hmm.
have in my mind. Very inspired by that. So you can go into Shot Deck, find Shutter Island, find that shot, and use that as a reference. Now you're speaking to your cinematographer, not just using words, but using references of like, hey, this is kind of what I'm going for. If you can't, if you're not a great drawer, or you don't want to spend all your time drawing these images. And so
Hmm.
um, that's what we used to do. But we tried to see, okay, can we use these AI tools to help us make that more um, exact to what we had in our mind? And so we started playing around with, I think at the time it was Mid Journey, to create our storyboards for Project Penelope. And we very quickly discovered that it's really hard to communicate with these AI models and tell them, hey, this is the exact vision that I have. Every time you do it, it's like, yeah, that's kind of it, but not exactly.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Mm.
And if you're
Yeah.
trying to communicate to somebody else on your team, this is the shot that I'm trying to make, you don't want it to be kind of it, but not exactly. You want it to be exactly like what's in your head. It's kind of frustrating when it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, you have to iterate back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until you get something you really like. Hey, move this, change that, add this. Um, and we discovered an interesting workflow that made it easier. And this was where the idea for FilmPro came about, which goes back to context management. What we discovered was if before we went to the image model, we went to ChatGPT. And back then, today, ChatGPT can make images. Back then, it couldn't. So back then, it was just text. So what we discovered though is if before I just went directly to the image model and said, hey, this is the shot that I want to make, first I went to ChatGPT and I described in my own words, even if it was just like a stream of conscious, like word vomit of the shot that I had in my mind, but you also upload your script and you say, I'm talking about scene 7. And
Ooh.
can you
Okay.
infuse my ramble of words with the context of the script, organize it, and give me a much more elegant, well described, rich description that's already infused with the context of the scene and script. And then you grab that and you put that in the image model, you get 100 times better results much faster.
Huh. Yeah.
So you were leveraging two different models onto each other during your pre-production process? That's
Exactly.
amazing. I mean, like, that's amazing. Also, probably like kind of time consuming, but that's pretty fucking brilliant.
Ti-
Yeah.
I
ti-
love that.
yeah, time consuming but also
Yeah.
costly. I'm paying for two different subscriptions, and
Oh,
um
yeah, yeah.
and and it's still not always perfect. You have to iterate on top of it, so
Hmm.
it's still a little bit time consuming. And so what we
Yeah.
thought about, well, okay, why don't we stitch this all together and put it in a platform so that it understands all of these things. And that's kind of where the vision started, and
Oh,
that's
I
that from
see.
that process. And then
Yeah.
same thing with our breakdowns. Back then ChatGPT was good, but it was not good enough at, like, it would miss characters if I told it to make character breakdowns, or it would,
Oh, yeah.
you try to
Yeah.
make a schedule and it would like miss a bunch of scenes, and honestly the schedule would make no sense. Today it's a lot better, but back
Yeah.
then it was just. And so we were like, all right, I think we can, if we put some guardrails around this, we can probably make this work. And that's where it started, kind of as an experiment, and grew out
Hmm.
of there. So.
Hmm.
What was like when you were in the pre-production process for Penelope, like what was one of your biggest pre-production hurdles that you faced?
Hmm. Um, Well, for starters, this is the first film that I co-direct. But the first one were I had produced other films.
Okay.
I've written other films. I've acted in several films, but this is the first one that I directed. And doing that while also acting and producing and also working a full-time job, that was probably just like the time management was probably one of
Yeah.
the hardest hurdles.
Oh yeah, we're fulfilling that right now too. Yeah.
I'm sure you are. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, gratefully we are not directing, and neither of us were foolish enough to think that we would want to be the director on this. But yeah, I can see like the managing of your time just being that, like, how do I get all of this done? It can be done, but how do I organize that
Hmm.
time?
Yeah.
That's yeah. Are you planning on turning Project Penelope into like a feature film at this point?
I thought
We
I
do want to do
remembered
that.
that. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is our ultimate goal. We have started
Okay.
working on the script.
Yeah.
So that is something that's kind of in the
That's
works.
exciting.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I'm not. So me and my best friend, we've made already a few films together. I'm not typically the writer in that relationship. He's more the writer.
Mm.
We will get together after he's written a draft and like
Mm-hmm.
jump on like a Zoom call, discuss it, and then like I always like say I like to throw darts at everything, and then see what sticks, see what doesn't, and you can patch the holes up, right? And so that's the only way you can fortify ideas.
You can patch
Yeah.
the holes up.
Yeah.
No, that's a nightmare to me.
Well, I think that's how you make any idea stronger, whether it's a story, an idea for a company, an idea for whatever, is you gotta poke the holes, like,
Yeah.
and you have to be vulnerable with it, right? Because as a writer, you have to be, you're opening up yourself to other people's. But even any creator, when you share
Yeah.
your work with someone, you have to be vulnerable and opening up yourself to that other person and what they might say, and but I think if your goal is to fortify something and
You gotta
and
find
make
its
it better,
weaknesses.
find
Yeah.
Yeah.
its weaknesses, you got to have people throw darts at it, and then wherever the holes land, then you got to patch them up, or maybe that, what, that hole, I like that hole, I'm gonna leave that hole in there.
That's gonna be a
Great.
window.
Yeah.
It's
That's
gonna
a
be a window.
window.
Exactly, and
Oh my
that's your
gosh.
job to
Yeah.
decide that. That's your, as a creative.
Yeah.
But
Natalie
and
and I.
sometimes,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
but
Well,
sometimes people will say something that will, illuminate something, or like
yeah.
spark another
Yeah.
thought for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Natalie and I have definitely become these like obsessive hole finders in our own work. Like the amount of work we put into understanding prepping and prepping rules and culture. Like, we have a consultant, it's Justin, it's her boyfriend, but whatever. We're literally bringing him with us to this project because like we need your brain, because we just don't want someone to watch this film and be like, that's not
That's not how
that's
it
not what
works.
you would do. And
Yeah.
like the first time we ever experienced that and like realized how we need to do this is like we were at a table read for our first short film, Imaginary Friends, and our first AD, John Mattingly, was like, so what's the rules of your imaginary friend world? And we're like,
The what?
and we will that floor falling out feeling we both had in that moment, we'll never do that again. We'll never. We will sit here and
No.
poke holes for months before we'll let anyone read something because we're like, no, we're gonna find all those holes. We're looking for
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's we just did it recently. We came up with a concept for a script and we wrote a synopsis for it or treatment for the script. And while we spent way more time writing this treatment than really is necessary, I think. Like,
Probably.
but we needed to know where everything played before we could say that we were going to be able to write it.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
it wasn't before we were going to say, "Oh yes, we can actually write this script."
Mm-hmm.
We had to go, "We know all the beats." And so it's really now just getting the dialogue done, you know. But it is
Whatever.
because we needed. Now we just plug it. I'm just going to plug that outline in here, and they can tell us
And
where
see
my
what
beats,
it
my
yeah.
beats are.
Oh, absolutely.
At the bottom of this first page on FilmPro
Yeah.
is script coverage, and one of the things is actionable feedback. And I'm like, I am not going to click that button.
Don't click
I
it.
don't
I
want
don't want to know.
It's too
It's
late.
too late. It's too late. Do another script entirely. I like that, but
I
just
know.
let's do that. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that something else that isn't a person, that isn't gonna judge me because
Mhm.
I don't care if AI judges me, is gonna be the thing that's gonna poke holes in our work for us before, because I don't want to show it to anybody until
Mhm.
I know that at least we're getting close to bulletproof. Because I don't want your negative feedback. I don't want to hear it.
I don't want to.
Yeah, yeah, it's tough, and
Yeah.
that's precisely what we build that feature for. Because I'll be honest, I don't think that AI gives like the best feedback in the world. At least not right
No.
today. Like sometimes it's like, oh, you just didn't get it. Like you just didn't
Mhm.
get like it's just something that's really human or comes from a human experience. But and so I always say, like, I think human feedback is going to trump AI feedback all the time, especially from
Yeah.
from a human expert, right? Maybe
Mhm.
a random person that's never worked in film or read a script before. Maybe you might get better results from the AI, but but it's not a replacement for professional like human written coverage.
Right.
However, human written coverage is so expensive and not everyone has the money for that. Like I had a friend that just I had a meeting with him last week to show him Film Pro. He spent $300 on script coverage. I think was like there's different platforms, different companies that provide that
Mhm.
service. Where you have like professional screenwriters read it and give you a whole report. And that's great. Maybe by the time you get to your
Mhm.
seventh draft, you're ready to do that, right? But in your
Yeah.
first draft or second draft, when you're like, hey, like I don't feel comfortable sharing this yet, and I don't want to spend $300 right now when it's so early on.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
why we built that feature inside of Film Pro. So hey, it's included in your
Yeah.
subscription. Go use it, try it out. If you don't, if you hate it, then don't show anybody, and fix those, patch those
Yeah.
holes
No, I
first.
like
Will
that.
it
I like
tell
the
me I'm very
perspective.
funny? That's all I wanted to do. It's like, oh,
Chat
this is a
will.
very funny script.
Chat,
Thank
I find
you.
chat to be way too kind. And I'm like, I constantly tell my chat to be mean. Like, don't be so nice to me. I don't like it. Don't just like tell me I'm great. Tell me the truth, because and then it still is pretty, agreeable. You're so right. Your
You're so
perspective
right.
is
I
the
should be
correct
honest with
perspective.
you.
Like,
That was the hardest thing in building that feature, actually. That
yeah.
is precisely that, where AI models they demonstrate this quality. The word for that behavior that you just described is called sycophantic. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Sycophantic.
yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like AI, like these AI models are sycophants. They
Yeah.
just tell you what you want to hear. They're
They're
like they
just yes
yes
men.
man you all the time.
Oh
They're
my
like,
gosh.
you're
Yeah.
amazing. Don't listen to anybody else. Like you're incredible. You're a genius. And
Terrible.
and so getting them to be a little more objective
Hmm.
is difficult. And I don't think we've nailed it quite yet with our script coverage feature because I think we actually took it a little too far now. So
Oh
I
no.
yeah, so I always tell it, hey, you need to like in underneath the hood when we built out that feature, we have what are called meta prompts, which are prompts underneath the hood that you're not seeing, but that are kind of like
Yeah.
telling the model, hey, this is what I want you to do. And in there, we had to be very precise about, hey, like, um, you know, you need to find a balance, between finding the good stuff and highlighting that good stuff, but also identifying areas of improvement. But the problem is then even when you upload a script that even if it is a 10 out of 10 on everything, it's still gonna, because it has been told to be
To try.
more objective and
Yeah.
whatever, it will still try and it'll give you a 7 on something that is like by anyone's standards like a 10. And I'll give you an example. I recently, and that's why that feature actually has like a
It says
beta tag
beta
on
next
it.
to it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, because we're still refining it. That one's not a perfect feature yet. But I'll give you an example of how it does fall short. I uploaded um, the script to Sinners recently
Okay.
because I was able to find it and I was like, oh wow, I wonder what Film Pro would tell me about Sinners. Got a beautiful poster, got all the characters and everything. I did script coverage with it, and it was giving me like 6 and 7s and saying that like, oh, the pacing is too slow here or there, and I'm like, you don't know what you're talking. I got mad. I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. That movie is
Got mad at your own
perfect. Like,
program.
so I
Oh,
got
I love
mad.
it. I love it.
Wow. And you're like,
Okay, I want.
I am not rolling this out yet.
Yeah,
I
I'm
almost
mad at
took it
you,
down.
program. Okay, I want to ask a super selfish question, but I think that it will help other people. With all of your expert experience and expertise, and going through Project Penelope, blah 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 blah. What is one piece of advice that you would give to us in these 18 days away from production? And this could be like, what pre-production advice do you give to first-time filmmakers? Sure, sure, sure. But selfishly, what do I need to remember?
um, I mean, this is just I think everyone has a different style. My style is listen, plan as much as you can before you get on set. But when you get on set, stay flexible and accept from the beginning. Go into it knowing that you're probably gonna have to throw away 80% of that.
Mhm.
But
That's a big percent.
it is things are going to change and there's going to be a million curveballs that get thrown at you, but it's a lot easier to manage those curveballs if you have a plan
Mhm.
ahead of time, and then you can navigate, you can stay flexible, you can move around these things, but they don't become overwhelming. Why? Because once you're over that hurdle, what do? We go back to our plan. Or
Mhm.
now, because we have a plan, but this awesome like random thing happened on set that like spark, that was great. Oh, you know what, this works with this. Now you have that flexibility to play with that, explore that idea, and then guess what, once you're done with that, get back to the plan, because
Yeah.
now you have that flexibility because you have that structure around everything. And so plan, but when you get on set, stay flexible and be ready to throw things out because new things will emerge that you could never have planned for. And you gotta have fun with it, you gotta have fun, but you earn the right to play on set if you put in the work before.
Oh, yeah.
That's so
That's kind
true.
of, I think that's how we run this podcast actually. Is like I said, we did all this work. There's a lot of questions here that I
Oh,
just
there's
threw
so
out the
many.
freaking window because I decided I was excited about talking about this character breakdown and we went off the rails.
Yeah,
Whatever. It's
But
good.
we
No, you're
had the
fine.
luxury of doing that because we planned so much.
I love that. I love
exactly.
that. Give yourself the luxury of playing by planning. I love that. That's such a great piece of advice.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so for the filmmakers out there who are listening or watching, this is actually available for you right now. Film Pro is up and running. There's
Mhm.
a free version. Get in there and play with it. It is so much fun, and there are more features and stuff scaling on what you need. So, like, if you've got a really big project, there's a version for you. If you're just like what Natalie and I are probably going to do at first, our little short films we're working on, there's a version for you out there. So get in there and play with it. I have a link if you're watching us on YouTube. There's a link to this below. If you're not, it's FilmPro.ai. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
Excellent, amazing. So yeah, and I think Alex is probably very open to any questions or comments or feedback that you filmmakers might have. So like, reach out to him.
Yes.
Alex, where can
Super cool.
people find you?
So, few places. If you have questions about Film Pro, you got two options. First of all, follow us on Instagram at FilmPro_AI. We're just kicking off our social media presence, so go check that out.
Oh,
But if you have a question specifically about the platform, you're in there, something broke, something didn't work, whatever. Hey, or you just have questions about how something works. At the bottom left-hand corner of like the app, when you're in your project, there's a little question mark there, and that will open up the help section, and there you can contact us at support@filmpro.ai. If you want a demo, happy to walk you through how it works. I've been doing a lot of we've done over 150 one-on-one demos with filmmakers and
Sheesh.
interviews to learn from
wow.
their experience and their pre-production experience. And so, yeah, happy to do demos or answer questions. So just reach out. One last thing I just want to say, because I'm just like we this is a recent milestone that we got, and I want to just share. We've been building up our board of advisors for Film Pro.
Mhm.
And so a few months ago, we brought on Tom Luce, executive producer of The Walking Dead, onto our board.
Ooh,
That's
Um,
fun.
that's
yeah, so
awesome.
he's guiding kind of like how we develop this stuff for filmmakers
Oh, very
from a
cool.
producer's perspective, and
Mhm.
then from a first AD perspective, we just brought on William Paul Clark, who is Quentin Tarantino's assistant director,
Oh, I
onto our
was like,
board as
I know
well.
that name. I was like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
he was second AD on Pulp Fiction and first AD on every film he's done after that, including
Wow.
Django, Inglorious
Wow.
Bastards, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This guy's a legend. He's worked with M Night Shyamalan.
Wow.
He's worked with Sylvester Stallone. The dude's a legend, and so
Oh, that's a
they're helping
get.
us
Yeah.
make this into something that is going to be really helpful for
Oh,
filmmakers.
that's great. I mean, like you're having these seasoned industry pros who are used to work on these crazy, wild projects, helping you shape it. That's so exciting. That's really, really freaking cool.
Which is
Yeah,
be
yeah.
much easier for my indie project that takes place in 2 rooms with 3 actors.
Hey, but yeah, those are
Yeah.
sometimes those are the best films, man. I
Yeah.
saw recently a short film from a filmmaker here in Atlanta, incredible filmmaker. His name is Alex Woodruff. He did a short film that has been winning awards left and right called Thomasville, and the entire film takes place inside a car. The
Oh,
entire film,
wow.
two people talking inside a car, and it's been winning awards left and right. It won best
Wow.
drama um, at the San Jose Film Festival in 2024. So not this last one, but the one before that.
Mhm.
It's been going to film festivals across the country. It won at another Oscar qualifying film festival. Incredible film. Two people, one car. That's the entire film takes place
Awesome.
there.
That's
So
cool.
yeah.
That's so cool. Okay, where can people find you, Alex, on the internet as a filmmaker and an actor and all that stuff, so people can find you?
Yeah, yeah. So if you want to connect, my Instagram is at Alex D Lugo, just my name, exactly how it's spelled out right there, actually, just without the period. So that's my Instagram. That's probably the best place to find me. I don't really use TikTok or anything else. I want to start, but that's the best place. Instagram at Alex D Lugo.
Yeah, it
Sweet.
sounds like your plate's full. Don't try to take on TikTok right
Yeah,
now.
it's a whole different thing. I made that mistake and now I'm making TikToks every day. Don't do that. Just wait. It's great, but wait. When you do join me, I'll feed you into my TikTok filmmaker life.
Sounds good.
All right, Alex, thank you so much for joining us. It was so fun to talk to you. I'm so excited about
Oh,
your
wow.
program. Again,
Yeah.
filmmakers, go check it out. It's really cool. We're definitely going to be taking a look at it for our projects coming up. And that is our wrap on Alex, everybody. A little applause in the audience out there.
Oh, thank you guys so
Yeah,
much.
thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me. And best of luck on your film,
Oh,
pre-production
thank you.
and shooting. I'm sure it's gonna go great. I'm excited for you guys.
Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys.
So
Oh,
cool.
wow. Yeah.
It's so cool. Like, I know there's a
It's-
whole debate about AI, blah, blah, blah.
Well,
The
and
stuff, the parameters put on this, I
Mhm.
think work. I think are
well,
great.
and
It's just,
that was one of the first that was the drunk conversation that Alex and I had. Was me
oh,
shit talking AI.
yeah.
And me
Oh, I
going,
understand.
I'm like, no, I don't use AI.
Yeah, yeah. But this is on the
But
level of making AI do my dishes instead of painting my
I
paintings. You know what I
feel
mean?
the same way.
That's what I feel. I feel like I still like you can take the AI, it's it doing the hard dish doing work, and then I'd make the meal and put it on the plate. Like
Mhm.
that's where we're at. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm okay. Okay, this works for
You
me.
want to
It's
order
so
my
cool.
groceries for me? Fine. Like,
Go.
like I'll
You're
do
the
the rest. I'll
groceries.
eat it.
I'll cook
As
the
long as I
dinner.
still get to eat
As long as
it.
I get to cook it and I get to eat. I get to be creative and I get to enjoy it. Yeah, whatever. And now the AI overlords have heard us and we are so screwed.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that, like I said, and I'm 100% honest on both these things. Thomas's platform, I
Mhm.
have a project in mind that I want to try that on
Yeah,
there, and then, and this one,
absolutely.
I have a project in mind that we're going to be working on this year, hopefully. That I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, I want to plug it into this and play with it with this one. I think both
Oh,
of them
for
have
sure.
like, and it's a different. They serve different purposes, I
They
think,
serve
too.
different things.
And
Yeah, for sure.
they serve different things, and they serve different people. The different
Mhm.
brains will work, will want one
Yeah,
or
I
the
agree
other.
with you. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
excited
for
to
sure.
explore it.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. Okay. There's only two of these left before we're gonna leave you guys for a little bit. We're gonna head
No,
into
there's
my
not. There's
favorite.
one.
Well,
Two
there's
Abby Singers. I thought you meant
today.
episodes. I was like,
No,
I
no,
thought you meant
no. Two
episodes. I was
Abby
like, no,
singers.
no.
No, I'm talking about the. I. This is my favorite portion of the show. I love words. I love language. I love learning. And this is the Abby Singer portion. This is the second to last shot of the day, in case you were wondering. Now, like, what are we learning today? I'm excited.
What we're learning today, this is where I went out on the internet and I found you some film terminology of such that you should know if you're going to be on film sets, et cetera, et cetera. This one, I think Tara and I both know this, but I remember learning this one on a set when I was like, actually, I think it was Imaginary Friends when I learned these terms, first team and second team. I had no idea I was first team on this set. Like, I was already first team when I learned what first team was.
You're first
So
on the call sheet. You're so first team.
I had no idea. So first team is your primary principal actors. It is, and where this comes from is on film sets where you have stand-ins. Which we didn't have stand-ins, but
No.
you have someone on the crew standing in for you, and then they're called second team, and they're the person they're going to be on there, and they're going to set the lights for them, and they're going to now on the big sets you have lookalikes that are your stand-in, and they're paid pretty
Oh,
well,
gosh.
and people
Yeah.
will take their stand-ins with them places because they're the exact same look, cha cha cha. You can get the
Mm-hmm.
lighting perfect for your cheekbones with someone else. And then you bring in first team who's been getting their makeup touched up or taking a break because they're working a lot. And that's your principal actors. And they come in. And it's funny because the first time I was walking to set with Mattingly, and he's like flying in first team, which flying in is one we'll talk about some other time. Flying
That's
in
next week.
first,
Anyways.
first team's on their way, is on the walkie. And I was like, am I first team? He's like, yes, you're first team.
Oh my God. Oh, what a
I'm
perfect
first team.
person to say it to, too. He's so sweet. Oh, I bet he loved that. Oh, that's funny.
So
Oh, I love it.
on our set, we will be first and second team.
Love it.
On this coming up.
We
We're
are.
gonna
We
be
are the only
our own
team.
first, our own
Yeah.
second. Yeah.
One time in my life, I got to be a second team. I'm not going to go into too much depth about it,
Yeah.
but I got to be a second team one time. And like, being the stand-in was so cool. I learned so much. I wound up, I was wise about it and like talked to the DP a lot and the first AC, and like I learned a lot about like light and this and that and how to be a good stand-in. It was a really incredible experience. So actors out there, if you ever have a chance to be a second team for something, do it. It's really great learning ground.
I mean, I do the same thing on any small set. I'm like, I volunteer all the time to come, unless I'm doing something else. It is, do you need me to be me? Is what I always say. Do you need me to be me?
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I will come
I'll
and
be
sit
me.
in my spot. Like, yeah, because I'm taking this in the entire time. What are you doing with the lights there? What do
Yeah. Yeah.
And but of course they don't want to bother you because your job is to be thinking about your lines.
Right.
I can do that from my seat, and
Well,
sometimes
yeah.
I do need to,
And maybe sometimes you have to be out at wardrobe or makeup
Yeah.
getting something done to yourself. So like you can't be there. But
always,
yeah.
but
Yeah. Anyways.
yeah.
Okay, before we wrap up, I gotta say, if you wanna help us make this movie in a monetary way, there is a PayPal for you out there. There is the super chats here on the YouTube live stream. We're taking all those monies, and putting them in the very official bank account, the Options for the Apocalypse bank account, to help fund this project. If you want to be an investor, email us. It's not too late. We have, not only do we have production still coming up, and there's always a need for more funding, we're going to post-production coming up, and post-production is going to be a whole different pile of money, a whole different thing. So if this sounds good to you, if you want to invest in a movie and you think this is a really fun project and we're fun people, give us an email and we'll tell you everything we know about our project, and chat about that stuff. Next week is going to be our very official last episode
Oh
before
my
we go to
gosh.
production. January 28th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. This is going to be the last official real podcast episode for at least a month. Now, we are going to do our very best, and there are no promises, to post on our Instagram account. Maybe do a live stream that won't be a podcast. It will just be a live stream on the set with the crew, some behind the scenes. We're going to see what's possible. No guarantees, because filming is a very all-consuming process, and we want to make sure that we're giving this movie our everything. So, but stay tuned for that. Next week will be the last one. We're going to wrap it up and give you guys all of those behind-the-scenes exciting
Yeah.
pieces of information we can't divulge just yet. I think by next
Right.
week we'll have all of our announcements in line. We'll tell you what the
Yeah.
plan is. There's a lot of moving parts on this, and there's a lot of like,
Holy cow.
I think there's a lot that other filmmakers could steal and garner from us. Not that we've got it all figured out, but just that we've learned by going through this prep process that I would
Mm-hmm.
love to tell other people so that they can use it for their own short film. So join us next week.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that whole discussion is going to be about, is like, here we go, guys. Here's the last push
Yeah.
before we're on camera.
Yeah, and then like I said, we are taking February off from making official podcasts. There may be some live streams and whatever. And then when we come back, it's going to be weird because we're going to have a lot of recaps to have to do because
So many.
in the process of making a film, there's the filming portion of it. We can't talk about that while we're doing it. So we're going to have to spend a good chunk of time covering the production portion of it before we actually get back into real time,
Yeah.
which is the post-production, which is where we'll be.
But
So it's going to
we're
be it is going to be
yeah.
a fun journey.
We talked about it though. We're like so down to like really tell you guys everything we can. So we're gonna be making lots of mental notes and lots of notes too for
Yeah,
the future episodes coming up.
and I think we're talking about in the future bringing on every team head department,
Yeah.
every department head. So I mean, beyond like bringing our DP in and talking to him about what what the film was like, bringing on our person who's in charge of all the props, person who's in charge of all the set deck, person like, and having an episode dedicated to each of those, I think would be a lot of fun. But so there's
Yeah.
a lot of
That's
fun
the
that will
hope.
be in the works after the film is made too.
Yeah.
So actually it'll be so much more relaxing, I think.
I think so. I think so. I think they'll be really good episodes too because
Yeah.
it'll be fresh, but it'll also be very interesting. So I'm really hoping that interviewing all the department heads works out because I think
Yeah.
there's gonna be a lot that we can
Mhm.
a lot of information we can impart to you guys. If you are listening to this podcast and you want to join us live for conversations now, I know we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to be doing lots of interviews and stuff. If you want to join us live, we do the show live on YouTube every morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and we watch
Every
the chat
Wednesday
roll.
morning, not every
morning. What I
morning.
say? Oh my God, help me! I'm tired. Not every
Not
morning. Every Wednesday
every
morning.
Wednesday morning.
I would die. I would die if we did this every morning. No, every Wednesday morning. Good Lord. I don't listen to myself talk. Every Wednesday morning. And I'm telling you this because we do watch the chat on YouTube and we do weave the questions and comments that we get into the conversation. And the more filmmakers who show up in those chats, the better the interviews, the better the conversation. Like it helps feed more thoughts that maybe we haven't had. So if you want to be a part of that conversation, join us live on YouTube. If you are watching this on YouTube and you're like, I gotta go, I can't finish this. It's a podcast, baby. It's a podcast. Natalie sweetens that sound so good. We sound so great as a podcast. Everywhere you find a podcast, you can find this podcast. It's check it out. And if you're gonna subscribe to one thing over the other, subscribe to our podcast because we'd like to get those numbers up there. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay safe out there and go make some movies, yo.
Yo.
Another one
Another
bites
one
the
in the
dust.
books.
One more left to go. Welcome to the Credit Cookie, guys. The Credit Cookie is where we hang out after the show and we talk like normal people. We talk directly to you in the comments. So if you're like itching with something, like I want to say this thing, now's a great time. Say it again too, because I might have missed it, clocked it, but now forgotten it. I don't know if you asked about the cat. Yes, Gizmo joined us for the show today. She's very needy right now because it's cold.
I think they're talking about guitars. I couldn't tell. I missed something.
Okay.
And then I think David and Shannon might be talking about guitars. I'm not
Yeah.
really. Oh, 3 of my 12 strings were. Oh, okay. Yeah, they were okay. There were
Steve
words
Brown,
I
you're
didn't
welcome.
understand.
Yeah, when I see the words I don't click, I have like this is probably not for me. This is probably them talking. They're having their own private conversation, and I rudely look at their conversation. Stephen Brown, you're so welcome. We love doing these. I love doing the interview episodes as well.
Yeah.
I miss try stuff. I understand why that is impossible. It just isn't as good when it's by
Yeah.
ourselves. Yeah,
If we
it's
were living
way
in the
more
same
fun.
state, we would have still considered
Yeah.
it. But it was just not fun to like try a thing by yourself and
No.
document it and I don't know.
No, it's not as fun. The whole fun of try stuff was us getting together.
And
I was
doing
thinking
stupid
about this
shit
the other
together.
day. The whole fun of try stuff, I'd come across something. I was like, oh, that would be a try stuff. We would totally do that. is that you and I got to get together and do all the stupid stuff we wanted to do as kids, but our parents wouldn't let us.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all the it was a crafting project I saw. I was like, oh, Natalie would love to do that one.
Mm-hmm.
Like just the weird stuff
An
that your mom
excuse
was like,
just to
no.
try it. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the Bedazzle episode, which I still love my jacket. That was
I
pure nostalgia.
what is that? What are you doing here? I I was thinking, this is not exactly on the same topic, but it's kind of. I was thinking about our characters. The other day, I had this moment of realization that Karen and Amanda are Bert and Ernie.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was
Uh-huh.
like, I mean, which is the Odd Couple,
Odd
but it's a
couple.
very
Yeah.
different Odd Couple. I mean, it is
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, we wrote Bert and Ernie into a feature film.
Yeah, we did. We sure did. We did.
Mhm.
Stephen Brown, we're gonna do our very, very best with behind the scenes stuff. Like sometimes
Yeah.
I'm great about it, sometimes I stink at it. We are gonna have on set photographers though, so that's gonna help with
Can I
getting
tell? Can I
pictures.
say? Can I tell that?
I think it's totally fine.
Yeah, Toby's going to be our on-set photographer for part of it.
Yeah.
Toby's coming in and had volunteered himself to come in, and he's been doing a lot of film down in Texas, like trying to get on sets and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
so we have, because it's a 2 weeks shoot, like getting someone to come in and do photography for the whole thing is a little bit much to
It's a
ask.
lot.
So we
Yeah.
have two separate people, and Toby's coming in, and he's going to be doing our on-set photography for the second half of the shoot, which is going to be fun.
So cool. Yeah. I'm excited to have him. Toby's just a lovely human being,
He's so
and like
pleasant to be around.
he's just a joy. Like he's always like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "No, you're lovely to be around. Like
Yeah.
please come hang out with us. You're very, very cool."
Yeah, we would love to do more. So this is the problem with doing behind the scenes is you
Mhm.
need a person in charge of that. And
Yeah.
as you get further and further behind, down the budget, like that's one of those that you can't afford to delegate to. Now you can hand a PA your phone and say, take a lot of pictures and record some shit.
Mhm. Yeah.
But and then also with the fact that Tara and I are there's one scene in the entire thing that you and I are both not in. That's the cut to
Okay.
your apartment.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Other
Yep.
than that, one of us is in every single scene. And
Mhm.
I would say that it's probably, and the way our scene breakdown is a little bit absurd because we have a lot of
Yeah.
talking to each other from different rooms. So
Right.
it
Yeah.
ups
It
the
makes it
numbers
hard.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
But there's, so most of those I would still say, oh yeah, we're in those scenes, even though we're not
Mhm.
filming at the same time.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, but I think there's probably like only a handful of times for each of us that the other person's not in the
Yeah.
same room camera at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
so even then you're gonna have to yell your lines from the other side of the room.
Mhm.
Like there's
Yeah.
only like 2 or 3 times where I think a total of like 2 or 3 times
Yeah.
that there's not dialogue coming from the other person from off screen.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
it's just
It's
you talking to
yeah.
yourself. You've got a couple, and then I have one scene by myself, one by myself.
Yeah,
I
they're gonna be
think.
very long, tiring days because you don't clock how much energy it takes to be on camera until you're doing it. Like it's
Oh, it's
exhausting.
so exhausting.
It's so tiring.
It's gonna be so tiring.
I did a short film where I was the lead, and like it was one where like not only am I the lead, but I'm like in every scene.
Yeah.
So like by the end of those days, I was so tired. I was like, why? And this was super emotional stuff, so like that's part of
Yeah.
it. But like I realized at the end of it, I was like, I'm exhausted because I've been acting all
Mhm.
day with no
Mhm.
breaks. Like I'm like, breaks, but like
Yeah.
I've been working all day, and usually I don't work all day. Usually I work
Yeah.
for
You
like
sit
an
and
hour
wait for a
here,
while, and
an hour there. I play on my phone, I learn my
Mhm.
lines, whatever. Yeah, this is gonna be much more intense and a lot more going on.
At least it's light material. You know what I mean? It's not in.
Yeah.
I mean, most of it's not
That's gonna make it
heavy.
easier.
Most of
Yeah,
it's very pleasant, so it doesn't
yeah,
take that emotional toll as well.
yeah.
But like Tara and I would be absolutely exhausted after filming a Try Stuff sometimes.
Oh
Like
my gosh,
just talking to the camera
guys.
and being
On
present and
Yeah.
on is
and
is, I mean,
aware.
and not the same way as like going to a party can be draining for an introvert. Not that same
Hmm.
thing. There's you're engaging your core the entire time and you don't realize it. I mean, like there's just
Hmm.
like there's so many
Yeah,
physical things that like you go. So it's gonna be exhausting, but we did
hyper
it to
awareness.
ourselves.
Yeah.
And
You know what makes me the most
Are
exhausted,
you
and I
training
don't
for
know
your
why this
marathon?
is? Oh my gosh, I've been doing sit-ups. The thing that makes me, even though I'm in baggy clothes the entire time, no, the thing that makes me the most tired is being consciously aware of my clothing and my face. Like
Uh-huh.
being consciously aware of my makeup not getting messed up, my wardrobe not getting messed up, like
Mm.
that bandwidth. Because I normally don't, I don't care. So
Mm-hmm.
like, but being because other people are working on me, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to mess up their work. That conscious bandwidth that's constantly running to make sure I don't mess up my hair or my makeup, like that's exhausting to me. I don't know
Yeah.
why. That's the thing that wears me out. Like just constantly like thinking like, oh God, you need to like you just touched your face. Stop touching your face. It's yeah. Watch out for your clothes. Don't touch that wall. Like, just that kind of stuff.
Mm.
Steven, this movie is gonna be chocked full of Easter eggs. Like it's so packed with Easter eggs. Like
It is.
there's gonna be so many things that you guys have seen in the background of Tri stuff. There's just it's full of them. There's so much.
So I've dedicated a space in my packing that is just me grabbing things from this set, like,
Yeah. Yeah,
like
yeah.
things like that. There are so many
So much.
small, like
Yeah.
even one of the shirts I was grabbing yesterday was from I think that was from Rusty Squid,
Mm.
like one of the gift packs we had gotten at some point in time.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I can't use the ones from David. I did think I was like, oh, I can't use that one, but it's one of like it's a shirt we got sent from somebody, and I'm like, oh yeah, and I'm putting like
Oh
I am
yeah.
putting nods wherever I can.
Ever. Oh,
Like,
we're
oh,
so
it's so self indulgent.
it's sneaky to the extent.
It's so self indulgent.
David, the maple syrup is phenomenal.
Oh, did you?
I made Hong Kong French toast one day and I put it on there. I know Brian's used it in cocktails and was like, this is phenomenal. Like it's really good maple syrup. It's really, really good. So
Yeah,
thank you for sending it.
we didn't end up cooking with it like we wanted to make.
Hmm. Oh.
David's mom had sent a recipe for like some ribs, and I
Oh,
really
yum.
we wanted to do that.
Yeah.
We haven't had a chance to do that, but we did have used it on pancakes or yeah, pancakes.
It's really good maple
Shannon went on a
syrup.
kick of making protein pancakes. Like they were really good. I don't even know what he was doing.
Cool.
Like I
Yeah.
don't know what he was doing different, but they were good and evidently high in protein. I'm like,
Yeah.
sure.
They're like just pancakes. And he just said there is protein in them.
He was like putting some protein powder while he was making them or something like that. And I was
Okay.
like,
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
you wouldn't have tasted it.
Yeah.
Is
Oh
there a
man.
panic button in there somewhere? No,
Oh no, there's
no,
not. No, no, no.
no.
No, not this one.
I might put a Quiet Army shirt in there.
That would it would track.
It would track.
Yeah,
Like,
it
only
would
thing is, I
track.
do think they say Natalie and Tara down here. Although they don't even know
Oh,
who Natalie and Tara are.
they don't know who that is. They don't need to know. Yeah, this is so full
Oh,
of
there's gonna
like
be so many,
it's so fun.
so
I've been
many
working on
stories.
the artwork for Karen drawing, so look out for
Hmm.
that. That's gonna be me drawing Karen's thing. I got approval from production for the Karen artwork. Now I got to do the Amanda portion of it. It's fun. There's gonna be a lot in there, guys. If you've been following us for a long time and you're a part of this army, you're gonna watch this and know that we're talking to you. Like it's just
Hmm.
so apparent. Like there's no way around it.
There's yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of it's wait. First of all, I mean it's in the script already too, but
it's
then
in
it's a
there.
little
Yeah.
bit self indulgent. But then I'm trying to get Mike and Allison like, what are your little Easter eggs from your,
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
they have an
Oh yeah.
ongoing like we have pineapples, they have an ongoing thing with avocados. So I'm like, well, where
Mm-hmm.
are we putting the avocado? Like there needs to be
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
avocados.
Yeah.
I was
We
trying to
wrote the
find
pineapple in there.
yeah, the pineapple is in the script. Like,
Oh, you wrote that in there.
it's not a very sneaky. I
It's
don't. It's
fun.
not super sneaky.
No, it's not sneaky at all this time. Oh my goodness. All right. Speaking of which, Natalie and I both have so much work to do and so many lines to write and so much going on. We're gonna have a bunch of there's a lot of true behind. What is the word I want? Like good news, but we can't say it yet. Blah. There is a lot of stuff that we cannot wait to tell. Like we're dying to tell you guys some of the things that we've got. So next week, like definitely tune in, and anything we don't mention in the actual episode itself, definitely save for the credit cookie because we're gonna tell you guys as much as we can about the secrets that we're holding on to right
Oh my
now.
gosh, it's such
There's
a
so
fun week of
many.
like, this happened and then this happened and
Oh,
then
it's
this happened. Oh my
been
gosh.
so exciting. Yeah.
That'll be part of our Monday meeting with them is what of this can we say?
Yeah, we gotta go through a line by line, like what can we divulge
Can I
now?
say this? Can I
Because
say this? Can I say
yeah,
this?
yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys next week for the last one before we go. And we so appreciate you hanging out and like being a part of this for what 41 episodes. You guys are awesome. We love you all so very very much. All right, bye guys.
Bye.